We're back and we're live with the G1 Champions League Western Qualifiers. It's Na'Vi versus Dignitas, the second best of three in today's doubleheader. We had a great best of three earlier, Alliance versus Mouse Sports. I won't spoil it, but game two was a doozy. And of course, well, the brackets spoil it, I guess. So I spoiled it. I won't spoil the details of the games anyway. But the winner of this match, Na'Vi versus Dignitas, they move on to play Alliance. And it was Dignitas who took game one in slow, methodical fashion. It was Na'Vi who took game two in explosive, aggressive fashion. I'm LD Beyond the Summit, and I'm joined here by Luminous. Luminous, Io makes it through. The Wisp is here, and Dignitas are going to snap it up.
Wisp, 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 wisp. Always a mixed fun game to cast. Good luck, LD. I'm not missing any kills.
Yeah, I can't promise I won't miss any. I will do my best, guys. I'm drinking some caffeine. Like, I'm not even drinking coffee or an energy drink. I'm just drinking caffeine. So I take some caffeine pills. I drop them in water. Hopefully I can catch the kills. But Lumi, a Wisp first pick, and Na'Vi says we're going to pick a strong five-man composition. They'll start with the Mag Rubik, and this is pretty much what you have to do. If you give away something like a Wisp, I think you go here for maybe the Lone Druid as that final pick through the first stage of the draft, or maybe even something like a Luna, and then you just look to five-man. Because if you try to spread the map against Wisp Tiny, that's where Dignitas finds kills.
I'm not sure if Team Dignitas tuned into yesterday's match. EG just, it's like Wisp Fen, Wisp Tiny, straight up, no hiding at all. And let's see if it's going to be the same thing. Jo had a tough Wisp game, two Wisp games that were pretty tough yesterday. Let's see if it's going to be like that today. I'm not sure who plays Wisp. I imagine it's Fog. It could be way too sexy. We'll see.
In a weird way, I can almost understand it, right? Because Wisp is always banned. It might be... If it's not the most banned hero in Dota 2, I mean, maybe something like Batrider is ahead of it, or potentially a Nyx, but it's got to be up there. It's like one of the 3 or 4 most banned heroes, and it's a very unique hero. And something like Nyx, I don't really feel you have to play it every day to do pretty well at it, and for a pro player especially, not as much of an issue, but a Wisp is a hero that you really have to play a lot with and frequently. We saw some of the top Southeast Asian and Chinese teams experiment with Wisp and with mixed results. And the reason is, this is a hero you have to train with regularly and consistently to execute. So I'm not trying to, make excuses for Jo or anything like that, but at the end of the day, if you don't get to play Wisp a lot, it's a hero where you can easily see mistakes happen. So we'll see how polished Dignitas are with their Wisp play, but they'll have to be polished, because if they're not, Na'Vi now have a very strong... What could be a 5-man lineup, what I imagine will be a 5-man lineup. Rubik, Magnus, Lifestealer, a good group up and push kind of squad, and they get sort of like a siege engine in the Lifestealer. I feel for Na'Vi they were debating right now between the Lone Druid and the Lifestealer, but they'll go for the hero that's a little bit more resistant to the Wisp combo with that rage.
Yeah, and I don't imagine Dignitas will pick up the...
And right away.
LD as well, because LD,
Why you ban me? Why you ban me, Dignitas? Why hate?
Dignitas says, we don't need you. We got the Tiny already. And I don't think they will ever run Lifestealer off lane, and it's not being played by Aoi. So Beastmaster being banned up. Beastmaster, it's not a hero that I expect Team Dignitas will pick up, but maybe Puppy was onto something that I am not thinking about at all.
They're actually going to ban the Clinks, which is an interesting little ban, because I mentioned you 5-man, because generally that's how you deal with the Wisp at the mid-game, right? If you split push or you spread the map, that's where you get relocate ganked. And not to mention, if you let the game go late against Tiny Wisp, very little will outcarry that. I mean, even a really farm Lifestealer Magnus is going to have trouble against the Tiny Wisp if they get big enough. But they'll ban the Clinks, and that's a hero that can just assassinate not only the Wisp, but also the Queen of Pain. And you get an early Orchid, Wisp could potentially be food, and suddenly it's the team that wants to be aggressive that finds themselves on the back foot. So not only did Funnick play it well last game, but I think this game especially, a very intelligent ban.
Yeah, you gotta protect your Wisp. I mean, generally when he TPs in, you always think to yourself, man, Tiny, he's scary, he's tossing, he's cleaving with the Acceptor, but if you just kill the Wisp as soon as possible, he's not getting overcharged, he's not getting damage reduction, and he's not getting that one-way trip out. So it's going to be difficult for Wisp to stay alive in this game, because there's a ton of burst damage. And I think banning the Clinks there was a very good ban to further protect that Wisp.
So here's sort of the next question I have for you, and you touched on this a second ago. When you just tip your hand fully like this with Tiny Wisp, you pick it up that early, Na'Vi are free to just ban out anything they want, and they know what's coming their way. The strategy is essentially revealed. The lanes are pretty much revealed, because especially Tiny Wisp, it's not maybe CK Wisp you could think about an aggressive tri lane with something like a Keeper of the Light. You're not going to do it when you get Tiny Wisp. Tiny just is not good in aggressive tri lane. So it's a defensive tri lane, maybe a dual lane mid, but almost certainly a defensive tri lane. And At that, you know, it means that Na'Vi can do whatever they want the rest of the way of this draft. So I think by picking it this early, they may have opened the door for Na'Vi to pretty much have their way with the rest of the draft.
Definitely can. Yeah, and Rubik, Lifestealer, Jakiro, I expect them to go offensive trialing against Tiny, Wisp, and whatever the last support is. Maybe even consider pulling that clock on that bot lane just to protect this. I mean, sure, Lifestealer could open Wound and you could Ice Path Initiate. A single cog could kind of make your day somewhat difficult if you're trying to dive, and that's going to give Wisp a little bit of easier time to pull and get his own level up. So we'll see if Clockwork's going to be that long lane. Normally for any other team, I say, oh yeah, clock top, easy. Team Dignitas, they like to run the support clock from time to time.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he's the support in the tri lane, because at the end of the day, it's going to be very hard to find kills if there's cogs in that lane. Sure, you have a great combo with Na'Vi. Cogs can completely disrupt that, and especially when it's your lifestealer who will probably be doing the bulk of the damage. Jakiro and Rubik, they don't do a whole lot, and it'll be a tree as the final pick. So Dignitas, they're going to shore up their lanes with the hero that, well, Gods is sleeping, but Gods, if you can hear me now, I actually like this pick this game. I think it's a legitimate pick. Na'Vi, they need to be aggressive in the laning stage. They'll want to be aggressive, and this hero blunts the aggression.
Yep.
And it's not like when we've seen Treant pick sometimes, where he's given farm priority, and then the team counts on him to make big plays. I feel like for Tree, his main job is make sure that Tiny Wisp get their levels in farm, and make sure Queen of Pain doesn't die. And you come mid-game, so what if Treant isn't doing much? He doesn't need to with this kind of a lineup. You get the living armor early. That's his contribution. And I think it might be good enough. We'll see.
And if Tiny doesn't have Axe, you could just
not to mention
pick up that tree.
Not to mention Overgrowth does go through Rage, so potentially a decent way to deal with Lifestealer in the fights. And now they have Cogs, they have Hook, they have Overgrowth. This could be a Lifestealer that gets disabled for a decent chunk of the fights.
They also could toss the tree in for some.
Who needs Blink?
Overgrowth bomb. Yeah, it's nice.
So it looks like a Clockwork that will get that off lane in the end then.
Na'Vi thoroughly a little bit confused. I mean, you could run tree off lane. That's definitely a thing too. But I imagine it's going to be a tree and protecting that Wisp as well as Tiny on the bot lane. One thing that Tiny definitely have issues in against offensive tri lane is that he starts with 0 armor, so that the Rubik as well as Shakiro is going to get a ton of right click harassment, and that feast early on is going to do a sick amount of damage against Tiny, who high HP, low armor, and you could definitely take advantage of that. But yeah, Puppy taking a ton of time here, not expecting the tree. And that's going to definitely make life difficult. So I think exactly what right now I want to do is you put Dendi mid on that TA.
Yeah,
Funnick.
I think it's a Funnick mag. I agree. And it's going to be because you don't want to send mag mid against the Queen of Pain. That's just a matchup that's very difficult for him. And, well, they will give Dendi the Magnus. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if Dendi plays it, but maybe he just heads over to the top lane. No, they're going to do a little swap. So we'll see if Dignitas caught that one. I imagine they did. So they picked the opposite heroes, then they swap it over. Lumi on the side of Na'Vi. We've got our EMS champions, our International 2 second place team. And I mentioned that even though it's been a while, because the International 3 is coming. If you didn't hear, invite number 1 is out. It goes, no surprises. Spoiler alert to Invictus Gaming. Shocking. They actually look bored with their invites in the picture.
They did. It's like, oh, time to win some money again. Whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But over on this side, we've got what could be the second invite. Your second place team from the last event. It's Dendi on the Tippler Assassin. Once again, pulled some regen. Pretty much the same story for all these solo mids. Every game, it's been the pulled regen. Puppy on the Jakiro, the captain at that. Havost going to be playing that Lifestealer. Speaking of IG, shout out to my best friend Tron from Havost. And, well, then over towards the top lane, it'll be Funnick handling the Magnus. He's been pulled as well. Give it a set of tangos. And, well, that wraps it up. No, Kuroki, that's the one I missed. He's playing the Rubik. They've been all around the place, so that's Na'Vi, Lumi. Who do we have on Dignitas?
Dignitas, we're going to have Universe, generally the off lane or the kind of the carry player on an offensive tri lane playing the Tree and Protector. We do see Wisp going to be handled by Fog. AUI, not exactly on the bot lane. Are they running dual lane mid? Yes, they are.
You know, I mentioned it as a possibility in the draft, but it's not a common one. It was just something I sort of threw out there casually. Didn't necessarily think they would do it. What do you think?
I think it's going to be absolutely fine. Hastron, you can see this tree. He's hunkering down right. You Funnick, run, my friend. He will run away. He does actually got a little bit of pulled himself, calling Blaine Stout Show and pulled extra bit of regen. I think you were pointing that one out. Me on the bot lane here, way too sexy, playing that support Clog, and he's going to be supporting Snaking on that Queen of Pain. I like this quite a bit because you can see that AUI is rushing for the quick bottle. He's going to buy it and he's going to say, Fog, all right, you get a gift. You get to Rune Horror for me all day, and you get a ton of regen for me and you. So it's going to be nice.
It's like giving a doctor a set of bandages and saying, you get to patch me up, doc. It's like, well, great. Thanks for allowing me to do my job.
Well, here's the thing, though. That
what a
doctor
great
also
honor.
gets to use a little bit of patch himself, because that's
true.
how Teta works. So
yeah, he's healing
nice.
himself in the process. It's a band-aid to cure them all. So in the end, it does end up being the support clockwork, and I think having it actually makes more sense, right? Because if the clock's in the lane, you have the benefit of the tree's living armor as well as the cogs to keep him safe. Whereas if the clock's a solo, you only get the living armor to help the tri lane. So I think this is the most defensive way they could do it. Well, the dual lane at that, but still.
One thing I want to point out is that right now it's a little bit early, but you cannot give Kuroki that living armor because you have one good spell, and you don't want the enemy team to suddenly heal up all the tier 2 towers at that point in the game. Oh, Skewer backward on the top lane here, and Universe gonna take a ton of tower damage. He's gonna pop that plot armor, and it should be fine.
Plot armor.
That's what I call it, because when that character is supposed to die and you put that plot armor on them, they don't die.
It's actually the most infuriating spell in the game, and any sort of, especially in a pub, yeah, good luck ever finding kills. Like, the coordination's already lacking, it's already hard enough, and then you throw the armor into the mix. It ain't gonna happen. So, for Na'Vi, they see the dual lanes for Dignitas, kind of a throwback in a way, and they'll go for some dual lanes of their own. Kuroki's gonna rotate top. So when it's all said and done, they're dual laning mid. Dandy getting farm, 6 and 4, not shutting them down yet. Do you think this is gonna change?
I think it should change. It needs to change. I don't think Dandy by himself could actually handle this lane because AI is farming out of control. Also, if you want to see what Fog's doing right now, he's stacking the tree, or he's trying to do a little bit of pulling. I don't think it's going to work here. Well, he's going to try to do so by tethering to the creeps. The timing's going to be a little bit rough, but I think what he should be doing is stacking that level 1 camp repeatedly to either give AEI a little bit of extra farm or basically give himself that quick level 6 when he's there to take that camp for himself.
Very, very early here in the laning stage. If you're just tuning in, I see a lot of people waking up, joining us for the broadcast. Thank you all very much for being here. It is Game 3 and a best of 3 between Na'Vi and Dignitas. The deciding Game 3. It's your winner's bracket round 1 matchup. Winner of this best of 3 moves on to play the Alliance, who just got done playing some of the most entertaining Dota I've seen in a long time. And that's not just, that's globally, and that's over like the past 4 or 5 months. One of the best, most entertaining. It was a short game, but it was a great game, and hopefully we'll see a great match coming up for whoever makes it through, but it's a tough opponent lurking. Oh, Havost, actually able to rage dodge a Shadow Strike. If he didn't, I think that's a dive for the kill. Not only is it a great defensive ability, but that living armor lets you get aggressive too, and almost the first blood on the bottom lane on Havost, I feel.
Yeah, living armor, for those of you guys who don't know, that basically lets you win every single lane too. Basically, I mean,
that's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. And so far, it's been doing that, right? Also, Fog in the mid lane did successfully get that pull off, so that's even less EXP for Dandy, less creep.
Bottom lane, Snakehate, he doesn't have mana for a blink. He used to Scream, he used to Shadow Strike, he just gets the blink now. No range for the Ice Path. It looks like a rotation in from Kuroki as well. Barely escaping with his life.
Man, he was fine.
Mid lane, it's Dandy who gets caught. No, never mind.
He somehow got himself a double damage.
This game is just a giant tease. Because there's living armor, there's refraction. So many defensive abilities.
And soon after, there's going to be a relocate. Good luck ever getting a gank off. I mean, we were joking about it, but it's going to be tough for Na'Vi to get anything done, to be honest.
Yeah, Dandy fighting a crucial double damage for mid, and you said Aoi was farming pretty well. Dandy's farming really well. 14 to 9. All he was given was a single set of tangos, and sure they have the orbs and they have Avalanche, which has multiple instances of damage, but it's still not really a ton of damage. So the refraction seems like it is enough to withstand that barrage and find the farm, and the rune's certainly helping out in that regard. This is more than what Dandy should be getting. Oh, well, maybe not should be getting, but what they want to be giving him. You run this dual lane mid, you really want to shut Dandy down.
Yeah, but for me, the storyline right now is that this bot trialing isn't doing anything. And if you look at this trialing, it's Lifestealer, it's Jakiro, it's Rubik. That's a ton of range, it's a ton of burst damage, but they're not getting a kill against the Clockwork and Queen of Pain. Some of the best dual lane combo you can actually imagine. And of course, there's a tree armor on top of that. So I think this offensive trialing that's not getting anything done, soon it's going to hurt their experience growth. It's definitely hurting the gold gain right now. And I'm not too sure how long they could be doing this.
Yeah, I am looking at the levels of those support heroes, and it's way too sexy. Support clock, level 4. You look at the 2 supports of Na'Vi, level 2 on the Rubik, and then level 3 on Puppy's Jakiro. So Kuroki and Puppy really struggling in terms of levels, and they need them. I mean, this is a game where you get to the mid game, it's going to be tough for Na'Vi. They ended up going with the TA. Not really the best 5-man hero. More of kind of a ganker and a killing specialist, but do you really want to be going for ganks and kills against Wisp, against Tiny?
Yeah, I guess they use it as a counterpick to that tree. Maybe a little bit of respecting that armor. Ooh, Dandy missing a very rare Maelstrom right there. And, I I mean, look at AEI. He's basically getting free farm at this point, and I guess bottle crawling is already annoying enough when you bottle crawl share regen between two heroes because of tether.
Bottom lane, Snake Kid's in trouble. It's way too. Who looks to get him out with this cogs? Already used this blink. Seems it's way too sexy. Really bailed staking out. He's under a lot of duress, and it's the power of that tri-lane. Between that as well as the living armor spam, just unable to find kills.
Yeah, what Navi's actually doing here is very, very smart. Starting to, you know, farm the neutral a little bit more. And they do need to play catch up in terms of experience. Up in the top lane here, looks like Universe taking a little bit of harassment, but like every time we see a little bit of engagement going on, I get a little bit sad inside because we know there's no kill going on. At least not for the Navi side.
Libby, you were telling me you gotta watch my camera control. Well, joke's on you, because nobody dying.
Tree's OP, man, I'm telling you.
Oh boy. This game, so far, looking at the gold graph, 6.5 minutes in, basically no lead for the Radiant, or slight lead for the Dire, but basically nothing. Experience lead, 1,000 for the Radiant. So Dignitas really pulling ahead, and it's those supports, man. The tri-lane bottom is just not getting the job done. Yeah,
also Fog doing a constant amount, stacking constant amount, pulling on the mid lane, so Dendy's receiving a little bit less there as well, so... Yeah, this game is going to be very, very slow, but look towards that Wisp hitting level 6, and suddenly that bot tri-lane, you get out of there, because you're going to be dead.
And for Na'Vi, can they just sit back and farm? They do have a lot of burst damage and a lot of teamfight presence. Or not teamfight presence, but they have a decent amount with the Magnus. And the good news is, sure, the supports are under level, but Funnick is already level 7. And if Na'Vi can find one decent fight, maybe we see AUI 2000 and Fog try to go on somebody with a relocate. If the RP is there to turn the fight around, those supports get a ton of levels quickly. So, sure, Na'Vi are ahead, or Dignitas are ahead in terms of their supports, but they can't just get complacent and take fights that are a bad fight, because all of a sudden it will turn around with something like RP on the field.
Yeah, speaking of RP, there's also Overgrowth, which is not exactly the most, you know, game-devastating ultimate, but when you TP in expecting to get a kill and tree encounter TPs with Overgrowth, it's not bad.
That's very true. Yeah. Despite you saying that Tree only has one good spell.
This one is okay. I don't even want to call it good. Back in the mid lane here, we're going to see a lift into a telekinesis. Are we going to see that TP just yet? AEI taking a ton of damage, and looks like that shield is going to get burned down by the liquid fire.
This
and
could
looks
be
like big trouble as well. He tethers to gain a little bit of speed, but no, will it be okay? Yeah, it's looking good. Tree TP's in. I gotta say,
Dendy's coming back in.
No. Don't want to juke that. Wow.
Well, that was close. They forced the TP as well, so sure, you keep your Wisp alive. You already lost your Tiny and Funnick. Just going to be farming away that top lane, and I guess the concern is Havost isn't getting much, but he'll rotate into the jungle, it looks like.
I thought that tree was a little bit too late. I'm not exactly sure where Universe's position is in. Maybe he's right next to the Magnus and Dusty couldn't TP.
He may not have had a TP, to be honest. I didn't get a chance to check.
I checked it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I guess his position wasn't good enough. But yeah, a good gank on AUI. And I think he did not have treads then, so lost a little bit extra gold, and well, he's back on treads, and I imagine he's gonna keep on farming.
The thing is, he's not their only source of damage, but he's you're up against the Lifestealer, so you can't really count on Snake King to do a whole lot against him, and same for TA. I mean, TA is a hero that she has Refraction, and Queen of Pain, sure, you've got Shadow Strike.
They're trying to set up a gank on him right now on the mid lane. Way too sexy, he's level 6.
This is gonna... He is very highly leveled, but I don't know. Do they actually even have detection? No detection, so...
I imagine Fog has one?
Nope.
No.
Nothing. It feels like a lot of wasted time. And, well, it's a bit of a Mexican standoff. They'll hook in. They'll catch out Dendy, but he is able to get Refraction off, and now it's a nice path. And then a lot of AoE damage. Here comes your Queen of Pain from Snake King. Rotated, and Dendy's still there. No detection. He's going to live. He's going to bottle up and turn around and run away. And now there might be a turnaround coming. Ice Path going to catch out way too. Here's Universe. He's got Overgrowth. He'll Overgrowth now. The Cogs deployed as well, so both spells kind of being... well, kind of not working at cross purposes, but two being used where maybe one is enough. In the end, they lose their Wisp. They don't get a whole lot out of that. And they blow Queen of Pain ult as well.
Yeah, I guess they were expecting to basically kill the Templar Assassin right with the burst damage. Avatos would take away all the refraction, and then the toss coming in for the finishing blow. Even Queen of Pain Sonic Wave was used, but it wasn't enough, and I gotta say, a very, very greedy gank, or a gank that I expected a lot, and, well, nothing really happened.
All of a sudden, we're 10 minutes in, and you mentioned the support levels earlier, and rightfully so, but look at them now. Fog's level 5, he'll be level 6 soon, but it's not like he's got that huge level advantage anymore. The catch-up begins, and it's because they're finding kills. Yeah, Rubik, Twin-Headed Dragon, both level 2, so Puppy and Croaky getting more levels than you thought they would, or than we thought they might.
Fogged on the mid lane, finally they do There's a Sentry Ward being dropped down. That's a very, very important Sentry Ward. Wow, kills 2 wards, a whole bunch of traps, and denying a vision to the Dire supports. And Fox somehow needs to find out.
Oh, bottom lane, he had a haster, and Snake King punished as Funnick rotates in and finds the kill, and RP just cooling down, and well, that's a big kill. Snake King not having a great time, the Wisp not having a great time. Sure, you got this clocked, his early levels, but what is he doing for you lately? Kuroki caught out. Maybe this is what he's doing. Might find a kill on Kuroki here. Looks like he's in a bit of trouble, but he's going to run south. The Cogs not really offering enough lockdown for the moment. They'll have another rocket. There's your leech seed, and it looks like in the end, Kuroki will go down. But a lot of time being spent, and meanwhile, bottom lane, here's your push. There's no RP, but can they actually fight this? That's the question.
Well, I mean, they could glyph, and Snake King could do a little bit of distraction.
No relocate.
Glyph coming out. No relocate just yet. Any support TP coming in? No, I think they're going to just go for a deny here. And Quap, gonna be close.
And no trade. And, oh god.
Oh my god.
No. Blake, they had to have seen him, right? Didn't he just walk over the trap?
Yeah, no, they didn't. They thought he jerked to the left, but he's like, hello.
They knew he blinked. And they couldn't find him. So, man. He walked, like, right here. He was just out of vision of the trap, I guess.
That's so lowsy. Now he walks past the trap, and they're like, all right.
Oh, they might find him yet, Bloomy. Ice Pet.
He should be fine, I think.
No. Oh, I don't know about that. Blinks into the trees. No skewer. Actually, no skewer, but he's being living armored up. This could be a turnaround. Here comes the relocate. Just got level 6 on the Wiz. In they go. But Ice Pat to start on Fog. So off the bat, not a great way to begin the fight. Funnick on the run, dropping low to Shadow Strike, but Fog will go down. Dendy able to assassinate him, and now way too sexy. Is he gonna try and fight Dendy? I don't know if he can. Universe comes in. There's your toss. Just tossing the Lifestealer back. Not finding any kills. And we talked about Cleeks as a hero that can assassinate Wisp. We're seeing that TA has that same potential.
Yeah, Maelstrike right on top of Io as soon as he comes in. So, yeah, all these small things not really adding up for Team Dignitas. They only had 3 kills. That relocate gank, I think they should have focused on the Magnus. Instead, they went for the TA, and, well, TA very, very survivable thanks to that refraction. And now I think he's going to go straight up BKB for Dendy. Not exactly a common build-up for Templar Assassin, but I think a perfect item choice in this game.
You mentioned the Magnus. He did end up going down to Shadow Strike, but was denied by Havos, so they don't even get the gold for that one.
Man, that's rough.
Even though he goes down in the end? Well, it delays his Blink dagger, but he's going to have it anyway. And a very early Blink at that. And now, you have to look at the trade-offs where, sure, you ran that tree, you helped blunt the aggression of Na'Vi, you kept your lanes alive, but what have you transitioned into from there? Because tree does nothing for you now compared to the Mag with a Blink. It's basically a walking melee creep that can stop Lifestealer from hitting you for a few seconds and maybe keep a teammate alive for a while versus a hero that jumps in and potentially blows up 3 or 4 heroes instantly.
Yeah, Tree is definitely a utility hero. Same thing with Clockwork, same thing to a certain extent to your Wisp. So right now you're basically relying your entire game's damage output on AEI, and the hero definitely could do a ton of damage, as well as a Queen of Pain, who has a little bit of decent burst, but that's pretty much it. So, and right now I don't think AEI is farmed enough to really, I mean, he's by far leading the game in terms of CSs, but I don't think that's enough at this point.
And we'll see a hook middle lane onto a TA illusion. Way 2 has been flummoxed and tricked and bamboozled, and they'll blow his hook, and they'll push top. And with the Blink Dagger and Funnick, well, doesn't have it yet. We'll have it after this tower. I don't think Dignitas look for a fight. Na'Vi are just going to start 5-manning. Now they have their core items. They can do it pretty easily.
Yeah, one big thing about Trina is that he's only a good hero to hold your lead. He's not a good hero in terms of getting the lead back. And right now, Universe gotta look towards healing his outer towers. Like, the mid tower should be at 4 HP at this point. Whenever you're not healing heroes, you have to heal towers. And definitely.
Wicked RP on 2. Uh-oh, this is bad. And now, caught out. Dendy comes in, crits once with the meld. Brings one down. Now chasing AUI. Way too sexy. Thrown back into the macro fire. Down he'll go. 2 dead. The Wisp, another death. And only boots on that Wisp, Bloomy. This is not good for Dignitas. Really. Sure, they have the tiny Wisp, but I don't know there's anyone they can kill. There's going to be a BKB on Dendy soon. And on Na'Vi, I also feel could just 5-man.
They definitely can. That's a weakness of a tiny Wisp. And looks like maybe they're trying to make a go. Where's the Overgrowth? Nothing just yet. They're now going to get stolen there. Is that the Overgrowth? No, that was the Avalanche. Huge Sonic Wave. That's going to blow up 2 hero immediately. Fog in big trouble, though. He's going to go down. 2 for 2 trade so far here. And Snaking gets Maelstrike. 1 more hit. He's low. He's going to be fine.
Oh, he infested just a second late there. Wasn't able to get the infest off in time. And as a result, doesn't get the AoE damage needed to kill off Snake King. But a close little fight for them.
was okay. It was an okay fight. There you go. Heal those towers. Snake King or Universe now finally doing a little bit of work. And I think right now Clockwork as well as Tree as well as Wisp need some items, because comparison to the enemy team support, you can see that Puppy almost there as a mech, and well, Rubik has Arcane and he's mostly buying wards, but I imagine Blink Dagger is going to be his choice. Navi supports are so much more farm compared to the Radiant supports.
If you're just tuning in, it's Game 3 of Navi versus Dignitas, a crucial game for the G1 League Western qualifiers, and right now, well, a little bit of a background lesson or narrative for those of you who missed the first 2 games. In Game 1, Dignitas a slow, methodical 35-40 minute victory over Navi. In Game 2, Navi just crushed their way to a 15-minute GG, and now we're in Game 3 where it's Navi leading by about 5,000 gold, about 1.5k experience, so basically no experience at all. But feels like they're in a comfortable position at that, and Living Armor is stolen, Lumi, so...
Game over, guys!
You said, can't let him steal that one good spell. That one good spell just got stolen, and now they haven't gotten one tower? I imagine they might not get one unless they win a huge fight at this rate.
Yeah, because all those towers are going to be at full HP. Man, they're going to go into the Roshan pit as well, simply because they easily can. The tier 1 mid is still alive, and there's going to be armor going on the TA as well. There's a rocket to scout out. Alright, you know he's doing Rosh. What can you do about it?
Yeah, Rosh is just taking a ton of damage. They do have a relocate from the Tiny Wisp, but I just don't think you can go into Navi. Even if you get a perfect hook initiation, even if you get a nice overgrowth on a few heroes, there's 2 heroes that you probably just can't kill, with a hasted Dendi who's off to the sideline, the Lifestealer with Rage, and if you group up and go for the dive, that's where you get 3-4 hero RP'd. So Dignitas, a team that in Game 1 really wanted to counter-initiate, I think in this game 1-2 as well. Problem is, Navi just aren't good to initiate, so then you're not countering anything and you're just giving up a Roche for free.
Yep. I mean, I guess you could call this an initiation, but they're not really because they're so safe behind their towers, so... And Navi's going to pick up the Aegis. I imagine Dendi's going to pick it up. Yep.
And that's his BKB as well, just about.
Yeah, game is getting really, really tough right now for Team Dignitas. It doesn't seem like it because they're only down by 3 kills and like 1 or 2 towers, but it's a really, really big lead considering that the heroes that they have, which is Tree that does no damage, Clockwork who does no damage. So it's a lot of damage for Dignitas. AI.
Man mode onto Snake King. Oh, he did pop his rage. He may have to infest to get out of here. No relocate just yet. Worried about that TP from Funnick. That's got to be it. Denny's coming in mid lane. He will get spotted out by Rocket. Not going to look to go. Man, that's when you know you're behind. Normally you see the Lifestealer that low bottom lane, you just go on him, but no relocate in sight because they know if they go, Funnick's going to be right there with an RP.
Yeah, I won't consider Dignitas out, despite what I just said, simply because Wisp is actually a very decent farming hero. You have your entire team grouped up, and it's going to be hard to jump on them because of tower supports and whatnot. And also the threat of Wisp always TPing in. You really can't freely gank or freely push unless tier 3 is dead on Team Dignitas. So you definitely can farm your way back if you're AoE, and I think that's exactly what Dignitas is trying to do.
Problem is, Navi is... I mean, I mentioned how generally you're up against Wisp, you 5-man in the mid game, and that's why you start with something like a Magnus, so you have probably the strongest 5-man hero in the game on your side. But with the start they've had and the carries they've selected, now that they have an Aegis on Dendi, a BKB on Dendi, well, coming now if he wants to pick it up. Oh, it needs the Myth Armor, so it needs 200 gold, but coming very, very soon. And then you have a Lifestealer who can't really be killed either because there's Rage, and Dignitas have almost nothing to do with the BKB, at least no damage to do with the BKB. Navi can actually farm the lanes and not worry about relocate ganks, at least a few of those core heroes, so... I actually think it's Navi of the scarier counter gank. I'd be much more worried about the Magnus, TP, Blink, RP than I would be about this relocate from Wisp Tiny.
Here's the thing, Dignitas is not going to do any ganks themselves, so there's nothing to counter.
Well, they're going to get ganked right now. Fox is going to get caught out, lifted, thrown back into a shockwave. Now he's going to tether his way. A long run to freedom, but Denny's there, Blink! Oh no, sorry, Funnick is there. Blink RP only catches the Centaur in the end. Just slightly out of the radius. Not going to find the kill. RP's is down. Can Dignitas make something happen now?
No, they won't. Again, they're just going to farm. I think that's a big thing. That was a big win, even though nothing happened for Team Dignitas, because now they're freely able to farm. Look at how aggressive, way too sexy up top. And tier 2 might be a little bit of trouble. I'm very surprised that Navi's pushing despite the fact that there's no RP. But again, they definitely can because Dignitas has 0 damage at this point right now.
Well, there's no RP, but there's still BKB and Rage. And I think it's going to be hard for Dignitas to deal with that. Man up onto Snake King. Rage was forced out. Glyph was used in response, and they may back off. Meanwhile, the mid tower starting to take some chip damage. Dignitas gonna force back some TPs of their own. Traps will be detonated. Dendi comes in, head full steam. 1 trap, 2 trap, and now 3 traps. Can he actually dive this one? 4 traps deployed just to get in range of Fog. No Meld Strike is there. Looks like he just missed it in the end, and they'll rotate their whole team mid for Dignitas. So, well, they're not farming now, Lumi. Nobody's farming.
Well, here comes, they're gonna focus on Dendi. Dendi now turns around with the BKB. Tree ultimate gonna be used just for Dendi. Aoi a little bit out of position. He should be fine though. Damage, no damage at all. Way too sexy. Gonna be protected by the armor, but it's not gonna be enough. Havos now infests back in. There's infest back out for the kill. A ton of spell being traded.
Wow.
But only 1 death for Team Dignitas. Again, okay, I want to say. And now Aoi back to farming. He needs his Axe Scepter, and he's very close.
He's very close. Dying now would be devastating for him. Once you get the Ags, it's not just for the damage, it's not for the cleave in the fights. It's for the farming ability. And love it soon. Snakeheat's gonna get picked off mid, most likely thrown up in the air. Blink, not available. The Scream that was stolen by Kuroki. Able to bring him down while he's trying to blink away. Mid animation, down he'll go. On this note, AUI will get the Ags. The one cool thing I saw that fight was AUI actually managed to toss Dendi into the tower there. And, well, he had Aegis. I thought for a moment maybe Dendi's actually going to drop under the tower, but too damn tanky with that refraction. Doesn't go down to the end, but still a nice little play.
Yep, and looks like Tier 1 is going to get forfeited at that point, which is not that bad, considering the fact that they're down by 5 kills, 5,000 gold. If you look at tower count, they're only down by 3 towers, and that's the power of Cogs, that's the power of Living Armor, that's the power of the way that Team Dignitas is fighting. They're not overextending at all. They're not making kind of pointless relocate gank. It's a lot of teams when they have Wisp, they're like, oh yeah, we got Wisp, let's go get some ganks. No, you could definitely farm with this 0, and that's exactly what Dignitas is doing right now.
Yeah. Nice little graphic drawn there by Kuroki. So, pretty much, I think, saying what you were saying, which is they're just farming, man. They're just sitting in the jungle and farming. Probably somewhere around here. So, well, can they punish that? That's the question. They had the early BKB on Dendi. They got the early Aegis. Can they turn that? Can they convert that into map control and a sort of a positional advantage? It doesn't feel like they're able to find the openings yet.
Yeah, and I really think that's mostly because of Living Armor and the fact that relocates is always up. So you could try to push towers, and they're painfully difficult to do so because there's always going to be a big team fight. It's hard to look for a single target pickoff because relocate and Living Armor will be right there. So,
well, he'll get caught top, but I think this might just be 2 heroes in a lot of trouble for Dignitas. He'll get pushed down onto the low ground. Now the relocate comes, but it's 4 heroes up top. They toss the Wisp down. Now it's just poor old Fog caught, and now it's Snaky. What a cloudy little fight. Almost still on the run. Fun coming in. Fog's about to relocate back, and he'll take AUI with him. So AUI will go right back to farming. And even though it's a failed gank, I call it a victory for Dignitas. Now they get to farm. And Na'Vi wastes a bunch of time, gets nothing. It seemed like Dignitas is wasting time, but in the end, AUI, maybe 10 seconds away from farming. That's it.
Yep. And now they're going to try to push down the tower. Wisp has to go back because this relocate is down, and TP scroll is up on AEI, so if they want to take a fight on the mid lane, they can. There is no tree ultimate, though, so that's a big spell that they're missing for at least a couple of seconds. At least 25 seconds more.
Snake King gets caught. The blink is there from Kuroki. Then the RP. Cast, cancel, then cast again. Way too sexy. Will go down. Snake King, one more right click. Kuroki, of all heroes, the little Rubik that could, finishes the job. Looks like they'll get a trade on Tier 1 bottom. Not even that. That will also be denied. Navi's going to TP in there. But the downside is for Na'Vi, they're not getting a tower of their own.
Yeah, AI's going to TP back out. Very smartly to do so because there was an Infest Bomb waiting for them. Can they get anything done, though? Relocate is back up in just about 15 seconds. Everybody's spread out. And like you said, that is the very, very good time to make it go.
No relocate. One of the issues for me with Dignitas is they're a team that's very good about keeping the vision up. And they have decent wards, but just because they've been on the back foot, just farming and not really able to get into the enemy jungle, put some more aggressive wards, they're not able to maybe find as many relocate ganks as they could. So it's one thing for Na'Vi if they lose a fight, not only do they lose the gold, the experience, that's where Dignitas gets some wards up, and then it's the next relocate gank that could really screw you. So good for Na'Vi, they haven't really allowed Dignitas to find those wards, but a potential comeback mechanic for them would be getting that vision up.
Yeah, they do see Dendi right now, but you can't make that go simply because he has Blink Dagger. As soon as he sees the mini-map marker of the relocate gank, he's just going to blink out and you just waste it. Basically, a big spell. Funnick is farming away, but same thing. He has a blink up as well, so I don't think this relocate will ever be used as a gank. Most likely as a kind of initiation or a counter initiation method or a little bit of chasing method as well.
Maybe, you know, unless it's there it is. It is used top, but can they actually find a kill? Funnick, he is out of spells pretty much at this point on the run. They're gonna be chased. The avalanche is there. The club comes in. The big rock smacks him down, beats him up. Relocate is on cooldown now. But there's no RP in this push mid, and they'll still look to go. They'll locate him for AUI 2000. He relocates back in, Overgrowth, trying to slow them down. The toss, throwing Kuroki as well as Dendy, or sorry, throwing Dendy back now. AUI on the run. Looks like he may fall. Queen of Pain ult only hits Havost, who was pretty low, but not low enough. Brought down, but not out of it yet. Even smoke popped off of this fight. Dendy tanked all of it with his BKB. Took absolutely no damage. They get one kill top on the Magnus, but Na'Vi shows they don't need a Magnus to take a big fight.
Kuroki says, I'm the best Rubik in Europe, as he, Living Armor, whoever that was getting focused in the team fight, stole tree ult after tree ulted and used it right back, and they needed every bit of damage. I think he ended up getting the last hit on the tree, or the Tiny as well, as he was trying to lumber away. So Kuroki making these big plays as a support, and this is one of the few support heroes that could do it. And now tier 3 in huge trouble, as there's 3 dead on Team Dignitas.
Yeah, they're not gonna get racks off of this, but they'll do a lot of damage to the tower. Oh, they're gonna jump in.
Will they?
Fog just melts. With a kill like that, maybe they will.
Glyph is gonna get forced out. Universe don't have their ultimate backup just yet. He's gonna start looking to heal up this tower. He has to do so at this moment. We cannot give Na'Vi a free tier 3 tower. Heal it, my friends. Yes, it will. Yep.
Thank God for Tree. One of the few times where you really want this hero on your team is right now, where you don't want to give up this tower. This is absolutely essential for defending the high ground. And, well, it's up to 300 HP. There's no Glyph, though, Lumi. So it's going to start taking some more damage now. Havost, he'll rage. A blanket from Kuroki. Posturing, threatening for a big Glyph. Not going to find it yet. Remember, Funnick wasn't there in the last fight. Blink Skewer catches out Universe, and then Open Wounds brought down low. Can they pick him off? He will go down in the end. He does not have buyback, and that's their big team fight. This is going to be...
Don't forget that Kuroki could blink Overgrowth, and that's gonna shut down Snake King from his blinking. That's what Overgrowth, one of the few things that could shut down Blink. So he was blinking and looking for one. Quick blink out from Queen of Pain. They will get that tier 3, and I think they're gonna try to look to get that Rax right now. In the 30-second that Tree is dead.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, you get down to like 10, 15, or 5, 10 seconds or so. If you don't have it yet, you just back off. They're fighting through backdoor protection because the creeps are not here yet. But they will arrive soon. It's the Blink. It's the Overgrowth that you mentioned. Fog dropping low. Down will go Funnick. Gets the RP as well. Snake King to fall. Oh boy. Avalanche, or sorry, Toss stole it on top of it. It was Cogs, and it's now 4 heroes dead. A little bit of a chaotic fight. There were like 3 separate initiations, but when it's all said and done, Na'Vi, they find a number of kills. They take a lane of Rax, Lumi. And Dignitas, well, you said they wouldn't get aggressive. But Na'Vi taking the fight to them and doing what they do best. Starting with the lead, snowballing from there. Looking like they may take this game
Did you see that, my friend?
Ridiculous. Blink in, toss back. That's your Rubik for you, man.
Tossing back the Tiny. You never see Tiny being tossed, because that don't work. Except when there's a Rubik and Kuroki in the same game. Holy crap.
This Rubik lifts. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, he's lifting more than you do, man. He's drinking his protein shake.
This is Kuroki. Of course he's lifting more than me. This guy's a living legend.
Oh man, that was some big play. The only mistake I called Dignitas out on is that relocate up top, and after the relocate ended, well, it's back right in front of the tier 2 tower, and guess what? Half the Na'Vi team was waiting there, and once that was broken, the game was never really in control of Team Dignitas anymore, as now, Rax down, Na'Vi going back to the Roshan pit.
They will fight on. The problem is, for Na'Vi, they've got 2 heroes that can kind of blow up a Tiny in the mid-game. You've got a TA who's got a BKB, and then a Lifestealer who has Rage, Assault, Caress, and Armlet. And one of Tiny's weaknesses as a carry is his very, very low base armor and bad agility gauge. And for me, the issue is AOI 2000 is actually not that durable. Hasn't gone for the Manta style yet. I imagine it'll want to at some point, but sure, you get a lot of attack speed from the Wisp. You don't get armor. You get a little bit of survivability, actually a lot from Overcharge, but I don't think it's nearly enough with between Meld as well as Assault Caress. And also, Craggy Exterior won't keep you safe when these heroes are magic immune. So this Tiny just can't really be aggressive, and also can be brought down if he tries to sit back.
Yeah, and right now he's going to try to eke out a little bit of farm as the big push is going to come back in. They got to relocate back in. We do see one TP coming out. Queen of Pain needs to TP very soon as well. I think they want to at least try to get this tier 2 tower, but they don't have Glyph right now. And that tier 3 by themselves is going to be dead. They're getting really greedy. Snake King's gonna TP back. He needs to regen up, and that Rax, it's dead. We're gonna see. We have to see the relocate right now. No, they're gonna just forfeit the Rax. That's it.
It's like, what else can you do? You come and fight here, you lose the game instantly. This way, well, you probably delay the end of the game.
Well, they're gonna try to do a little bit of Rax trade, I guess.
Tiny is one of the best base traders in the business, but not with this level of farm. They'll now chase Havost, who's on the run. It's going to be Universe as well. Looking to go. There's your Leech Seed, but Havost just going to truck his way out of there. The relocate comes, but Havost just going to man up with Rage, and it's just instant death for Fog. One meld shot. Down will go, along with a right click from Havost to finish the deal. There's your Blanket for Funnick, just fishing for an RP. They don't even need it. It's Dendimon on the loose, out of control. Somebody get a cage for this man, because right now, he's off the chain, Lumi. And Navi out of control as well. They're going to take the series, and convincingly at that.
When you're Treant, your biggest, tankiest hero can't even survive long enough to use his ultimate, the game is really, really tough, and that's exactly what happened in that team fight.
Well executed from Navi. Let's be honest. They played better this game. I don't feel like Dignitas were horribly outdrafted. I think for their lineup, they just had to win the laning stage a little bit more convincingly, and more importantly, not waste any time when the Tiny could be farming, not delay the level 6 of the Wisp. Navi just found the openings, and once they found a few, they snowballed from there.
Yeah, it was a classic victory. As much as I love seeing Tree win, this is a great victory for Navi, showing off the power of some very well coordinated ganks, and they move on to face Alliance. I can't wait to see that matchup. That's gonna be, I gotta say, one of my. That's gonna be one of the biggest matchups for the.
You know, it could be our winner bracket finals, and I would say not surprised at all. Right now, these are arguably the two best teams in Europe, if not, not just in Europe, but in the West. I mean, certainly in the discussion is that top 3-4 teams, if not the top 2, and they'll be facing off in the winner bracket semifinals. That will be coming up later, guys, but it's not today. For today, we're gonna be done with the G1 League. It will be Navi moving on to face Alliance. An amazing matchup coming in the winner bracket semifinals. We already saw yesterday EG moves on, so now it's just the one match to be cast. Kaipi versus Fnatic, a match I know you're personally very excited about, Lumi. Apparently it was actually played today, but we'll be replay casting it tomorrow. We'll be starting 4 hours earlier at 9 p.m. Pacific time, which is 6 a.m. Central European Summer Time, as well as, I believe it's 12 p.m. SGT if you're over in Southeast Asia. So pretty much an early start for everyone except those of us here in the U.S. For those of us here in the U.S., it's a late start. And if I understand the schedule correctly, we actually go on to cast 2 more games that day. So a lot of sexy G1 action coming up.
3 best-of-3 series, so if you want your fill of Dota, you could find it tomorrow on Beyond the Summit.
Well, Lumi, Navi, convincing win. I gotta say, I didn't feel like Dignitas played bad. I didn't feel like it was... Some of these Western Dota games lately, we've had some incredible epic slugfest, and then we've had games where a team sort of comes out flat. I felt that was sort of the case with EG versus Liquid yesterday. EG came out very flat in Game 2, Liquid pretty flat in Game 3, and I didn't feel that way about this series. I felt like both teams played pretty solid overall, and just once their opponents made mistakes, they punished them, and they didn't look back. They didn't give any openings for a comeback.
I agree. I mean, if you look at the growth graph, there's never a spike up. That's just a sign of one team getting a lead and holding on to that lead. It's just a sign of good Dota. So, yeah, I'm very, very happy that I classed this series, and I think that's it for us today.
Yeah, I was just waiting for that throne to die. I want to get the final scoreboard for y'all. I'm LD, he's Luminous, we are Beyond the Summit. Thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoy our casting, be sure to follow us. For me, it's twitter.com/LDDota, and of course for him, it's twitter.com/LuminousInverse. Thank you all for tuning in. It's a wrap. We're done for today's G1 League coverage. We will be returning tomorrow. Actually, technically it's today for us here on the West Coast of the United States. It'll be in about 13 and a half hours, I want to say. 13 and a half hours it is. 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time once again, or Pacific Daylight Time, I should say. Thank you all for tuning in. It's a wrap. Book it. Navi moving on to the winner bracket semifinals of the G1 League. One step closer to a ticket to China. We'll see you tomorrow.